As UEFN and Fortnite's metaverse expands, of course, more creator drama comes in with all of this, and I found a very interesting thread that I was actually quite excited to make a video on, because this is one of those things that I can see, and I agree with both sides of it. And as always, guys, we're going to go through it. We're going to take a look at all the replies to it. I posted over on X any replies that people had to myself to kind of get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. We're going to take you through the entire situation, and of course, I'd love to know what you think about it down below afterwards. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, let me bring you to the inspiration for this video, that being an initial post over by Lockies, and it is a quote tweet because Not Norman made a UEFN map, a map in Discovery where it is Fortnite Rivals, and it appears to be a Marvel Rivals ripoff. Of course, and I'm going to be honest, it's a good idea for map. Marvel Rivals is very hot right now, but of course, you get into, and I'm sure that you can figure this out where this is going. A lot of people are saying, hey, you can't make this map. It doesn't belong in Discovery. Anyways, Lockies had this to say about it. The comments of this post are full of people complaining about IP infringement. Does it hurt you? Why do you care so much? Sure, it might be against TOS, but you're not the Fortnite police. Y'all are literally wannabe moderators, and I do not want to hear it. And of course, I did go and check it. All of the replies to Fortnite, or the Fortnite Rivals, was this is not allowed, this and that, and he is not exaggerating about the comments under that post. And I'm honestly not sure if Lockies was a developer for that map or not, but of course, very involved in the UEFN space. He did continue a little bit before we actually open up to replies to that. Also, if y'all gonna say it affects the performance of my maps, grow up. The system clearly promotes IP games and doesn't punish them. Adapt. There is a reason Fortnite isn't striking all the IP games, whether it's intentional or not. And by all means, original games are amazing, but at least make them better than the games that are stealing IP. Let's continue on. Plus, I follow the rules in this space. I'm just tired of seeing negativity everywhere. If it bothers you, ignore it, but I thought it was important to address this. So there's a couple things to break down with this, okay? I am a big fan of minding my own business. If I see people having IP infringement on their creative maps, I will not say a word about it. I'll think to myself, maybe like, to be honest with you, I don't even know if thought would cross my mind, but even if I looked at it and go, you know, that might not be allowed, I'm not going to go comment under it. I'm not going to go complain to Fortnite, but I understand everybody upset about it, especially as UEFN creators, because these people are taking players away. These people are oftentimes getting their maps, well, not, I don't want to say oftentimes, sorry, but it does happen where these maps do reach Discovery, and that takes away room from a lot of people who are working very hard and following all the rules. Of course, you can't just use Marvel things and toss it in your map, toss it in Discovery, but at the end of the day, it's also kind of not your problem. The problem with this is everybody is masking it, and I wholeheartedly believe the vast majority of people are just virtue signaling for the sake of virtue signaling, and also they want these things taken down, and they I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? Before I say it, you watching this video may have very pure intentions. You watching this video, if you're a UEFN dev, you may not be the type of person I'm talking about. I believe a good 80-90% of the chunk of people who are complaining about this type of stuff kind of have this mindset. They made a map, they put their heart and soul into it, they are updating it every single day, but at the end of the day, they're not getting players. Nobody's following them on Twitter, nobody's favoring their maps, nobody's liking their maps, people are going into their map, people are leaving their map, and they can't cope with the idea, or they can't understand the idea, or take in the idea that their map might not actually be playable because of how much hard work has actually gone into it. I mean, by playable, I mean that nobody actually wants to play it. So instead of taking responsibility, they cope and they say, okay, they'll find something to be outraged about. They'll say, this Marvel map, my map might actually be in Discovery if it wasn't for this slop right here. I believe this to be the case with most people. They are looking for reasons to not blame their own work and their own map, and their map not necessarily being the most fun. It's a lot of people that can't understand and deal with the idea of failure, and instead, and the problem is too, I see this in the YouTube world all of the time where people will just make a piece of crap video. It's the algorithm. It's all of these people using clickbait, and it's everybody's problem except their own problem. Guys, think about it this way, okay? Think about it this way. I'll use Dagwami as an example. Dagwami is a very good friend of the channel, and he has one of the biggest and most successful creative maps and one of the greatest ideas there is and has ever been put into Discovery before. A lot of people are copying Dagwami, okay? Do you think somebody like Dagwami is sitting down and worrying about some random person uploading their map and IP infringement? Do you think he's sitting back and worrying about that? No, he's focused on making the best experience that he possibly can. That probably, and I don't know if he's secretly going around reporting things, but I highly doubt it. What's most likely, because he is majorly successful, he is working on his own craft. And this is the case for everybody that's successful in UEFN. This is the case for so many people that have their maps really big in Discovery. They are not worrying about this, and you see this, again, like with YouTube, all of the time. I imagine it being the same thing. I'm shadow banned. YouTube just doesn't want to push my videos. Nobody just likes the idea or can understand. And honestly, nobody would like that. Like, if I have an underperforming video, I don't like that. Like, I'll be honest with you. I talk about this. I've been talking about this in recent streams. I've been talking about with a lot of people on YouTube. I can't get the hang of tier lists. I don't know what it is. People don't want to watch them. Perhaps it's the idea. Like, I don't get views on them. I know it's either the thumbnail, it's the video topic, it's the way they're presented. Maybe I need to have editing with it. The point being, I'm looking at my underperforming video and I'm not going, oh my god, it's just these people at the top. They're making better tier lists than me. I have these ideas, and just for some reason, YouTube just wants to push like a channel like Ethan on everything instead of mine, but I don't get it. I don't get it. YouTube hates me. No, there's something wrong with my videos. There's something wrong with what I am doing. And I don't understand why everybody can't take that and just apply it to their own thing. I still wholeheartedly believe this to be the case for the vast majority of UEFN devs that are complaining about this. This is taking the spot of original maps. Is one map really going to make a difference? You know what? For one person, maybe. Maybe it will, but is your map going to get on there? Likely not. If you're busy complaining on Twitter about other maps, then you probably don't have the map that is probably good enough to be in Discovery. And again, you might be the exception to what I'm talking about, but I believe the vast majority of the people have this type of attitude, and I believe that if you want to be a successful UEFN dev, you need to work on your craft and you need to stop complaining about other people getting into Discovery, because if you made a map that was actually that good enough, then it would be in Discovery. Had a little bit of a long intro there. Anyways, it's not just about what I think, of course, guys. It's not just about what I think. Let's take a look at replies to myself and replies to Lockies to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. I posted this over on X. This was a really interesting thread. One of the topics where I kind of agree with both sides. If anyone would like to share their thoughts, I'll be making a video on the topic. Thank you for your time. And thank you very much to everybody who participated. If you want to participate in these videos, we have this type of content all the time. Follow me over at Clen YouTube, or you can find the links in the link tree or the actual link over to the X page in the description down below. Thank you very much, everyone. By the way, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel already, please hit like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a ton. Let's get into it, starting off with Dylan at Sir Rifty. IP infringement just hurts other maps, to be honest. They'll see Iron Man in the thumbnail or the Infinity Gauntlet and play over other experiences. Most of the time, maps infringing aren't really that great quality either. Sure, you've got branded maps with SpongeBob and whatnot, which are licensed and have been granted legal permission. Really sucks because other maps gets no plays over stuff like this in the ecosystem. Epic needs to enforce these kinds of rules more. People saying that those who are infringing copyright laws aren't a problem are dead wrong. Not only does it damage the ecosystem, it's straight up illegal because you're using copyrighted material and profiting from it, which could get the creator of the map and Epic in trouble. Now, it is true that if you do have Iron Man like on a map and the thumbnail looks really, really good, then somebody might be swayed to click on it. If that's the case, or I mean, sorry, that absolutely is the case, and I know that I just said what I said about everything, okay? I still believe that to be the majority of the people complaining about this, but then you have people who are very serious about it, like Rifty over here, and he is correct in what he's saying, where they will see Iron Man in the thumbnail, and they will play this over some other experience, over something giving it a chance. It is up to Epic Games, and I do believe that Epic Games should be enforcing these rules. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's okay for people to just have this IP infringement, and I don't think it's okay for people to just cheat the system, per se. I don't think it's okay to have the Infinity Gauntlet. Hey, you can get all of the XP in the world in my map right here. If you come here, you can play as Thanos. Like, I don't think any of that's okay. And I know that I just said what I said. It's important to note, like, it's a deep frustration of mine because I know where a lot of people are secretly coming from. They're just being really, really virtuous, and I'm tired of it, okay? But Sir Rifty is right in what he's saying. It does hurt the ecosystem, and the Epic Games does need to get on it, okay? Let's take a look at another reply over here. Taking the plays away from original maps, making money off of IP doesn't own, breaking TOS, which shows other people can as well. It is a slippery slope. If Epic Games doesn't hop on something like this, then what's to stop more people from actually using this tactic to get more maps? Again, it's very important for Epic Games to step in and enforce the rules over here, okay? Let's continue on to PBJ. Worst part of the internet. Everyone thinks they're perfect and wants to hate everyone that tries anything. Very true. I will say, and again, it's not okay. It's not okay for what people are doing. It's not okay that people are cheating the system over here, but everybody does act like they're perfect. And that's what I'm tired of, man. That's what I'm tired of. I'm just fighting for the better of the ecosystem for UEFN. What the vast majority of people actually when they say that, the translation is, hey guys, come play my map over here. Don't play this Iron Man map, come play my map. I want to be successful, I want your attention. That's the translation for most people, okay? Let's continue on to Akari. I disagree. Until Epic comes forward with official statements that these types of maps are within the rules, then these creators should be shamed publicly. It's not a funny little game where cheating affects nothing. This is some people's livelihood. And this is kind of where I was talking about, where I understand both sides, okay? I really get it. I get that this isn't okay. But the energy that it gives off when all of the replies, all of the quote tweets that I'm seeing, all the people sharing the thumbnail, it gives off the same energy as that one kid in class that like reminded the teacher that we had homework. Like, should we have homework? Yeah. Would it be better if we were all practicing our math problems at home? Yes, probably. But nobody actually likes the kid who starts going, oh my god, teacher, you actually forgot to give everybody their homework. I know it's not like a good comparison, but the energy comparison is there. That's what I'm speaking on. But the problem is, I also agree with the people saying that this isn't right. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying over here, and I've also been getting a few comments, and I've been mentioning this here and there, that when there are topics like this where I see both sides, I really do. I don't know what to tell you. I get a bunch of comments now where it's like, oh my god, fence sitter, pick a side. Typically, I do have a side when I talk about this type of stuff, but I get it. Like, this does hurt the ecosystem, like Grifty said, but at the same time, if I was making a creative map, I wouldn't think twice about something like that, and I would just focus on making the best map that I possibly can. You can guarantee it. And one day, when I do this type of stuff full time, I am going to get into map making, and you guys have my word, what you're not going to be seeing from me is posting on Twitter, complaining about other people's maps. I will be trying to make the greatest experience that I possibly can, because I know it doesn't matter if people cheat their way to the top, because I'm going to do better. And that's the attitude that everybody else should have. But again, I get it. It isn't right, and it does take the spot of another map, but let's be real, it's probably not going to be your map that's taking that spot. Take-Two said this to say, right, these disputes aren't in our hands, they're up to the IP owner and Epic to handle. All this complaining is just noise and doesn't fix anything. Unfortunately, what this community has come to on Twitter, imagine they just focused on improving their own work. That's what I'm saying. Could you imagine half these people that are spending so much time on Twitter, like they're probably spending hours upon hours on Twitter. Could you imagine if they actually spent that working on their own craft and improving their map and how much more playable it possibly could be? That's what you need to be focusing your energy on. But guys, let me pause you for just a second over here. As you know, I have been advertising my supporter creator code lately because I have been grinding on YouTube as hard as I possibly can in order to give my wife, my child, and any future children we are going to have the life that my father awarded to me, that being one that was very easy, very nice. I want them to all live the best life that they could possibly be, and you guys have been helping me with that. So if you do not have a supporter creator code that you're using in the item shop, please consider using my code Clen. You guys have been helping me more than you could ever know, and I'm truthfully so grateful for it. Let's get back into the video. Thank you very, very much for listening, everybody. Zium had this to say, monthly competition for a limited pool of money. It's not shocking that folks react this way when others essentially cheat in the race. You don't have to agree. I also try to ignore this stuff, but it's not the perplexing mystery that you've made it out to be. Human nature. I get that, but that's the problem too. Like, I just said what I said, and then it is a monthly competition for a limited pool of money, and then people kind of freak out about that. But I would imagine most of the people freaking out, and this is the last time I will say this, you, before you comment down below, might not fall into what I'm talking about. Last time I will say that. Most people probably aren't making money anyways and are probably on their way to continuing to not make any money. Let's just be real about the type of people that we're talking about over here, okay? Sashi had this to say, UEFN creators are a bunch of crybabies. If people use half the energy they use complaining on Twitter to build something good, they would get some players. Discover is not the problem. Your game just sucks. Ooh, let's be real. Yep. And again, like, it's the same culture that we see in YouTube. So, and before you comment down below, if anybody was about to and saying that you're not a UEFN dev, you don't get it, I get it. You can apply the exact same situation to YouTube over here. People try to cheat the system at YouTube all the time, but the people who are making it, the people who have grinded for years and worked on their craft and worked to be entertainers, those are the people who end up making it in the end. Discovery, I do think actually does need a little bit of fixing. Still, I still don't think it's nearly a perfect system, but Discovery is also not to blame for your map not getting any plays. Let's continue on to PQ. This might be the stupidest take I've seen in a while. If you saw someone robbing a defenseless woman, would you ignore it because you're not the police? Why don't you just walk past it and go on with your day? You're turning a blind eye to something that's clearly wrong. It's a lot different when you're comparing. I get it. I get what the point is. I get the comparison. but it is something that is infinitely worse. And to be honest with you, if you want to go there, like, the UEFN devs are not defenseless. They are more than capable of making it within the ecosystem, more than capable of doing better than all of these cheaters. So you just have to make the right experience, you have to have the right idea. There was a reply to that over here and said, I'm not picking sides, but Disney is not a defenseless woman. PQ said, you've missed the point. It's about calling out wrongdoing when you see it. The rules exist for a reason, and ignoring them just because Disney is a big company is not okay. And this is, again, where I fall back on people like PQ's side. It's not okay to break the rules, but I just wish that Epic Games would be the ones to enforce it. A lot of people just randomly crying on Twitter, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything unless, like, you get the biggest outcry of all time, then Epic Games might step in. Like, might, but with this community, I guess, like, I do not condone this, Epic Games, but I guess you just need to get to a level of doxing before Epic Games ends up paying attention. Gertchi TV had this to say, UEFN Twitter community is just creators complaining to each other. It's also always the same people I see complaining. To be honest with you, I get a lot of the same people that I see complaining on my timeline as well, but there is also, for the next reply over here, Snake had this to say, and he's sharing a meme, and this is the thing, okay? You see this shared on both sides, leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone, and I get this meme shipped over to me a lot, okay? First of all, do I look like that? Do I behave like that? No, I just am not somebody who is going to mindlessly hate on a company just because they're a billion-dollar company. We live in 2025 now, and for the past few years, it has been modernized. It has been cool to just automatically go against any billion-dollar company, and then you'll comment down below, call me a shill, but no, I'm just thinking with my brain. If I think Epic Games is doing something wrong, I'm going to say they're doing something wrong, and I would think the opposite way if I felt the same way. Like, I don't just blindly look at Epic Games and go, oh my god, leave the billion-dollar company alone. The problem is, no matter, it depends on what side you're on, right? If you're pro-Epic, if you're anti-Epic, you're just going to share the same meme on both sides, to be honest with you. It doesn't apply to me. We'll be real with this one. And I don't think it applies to the initial post as well. But anyways, let's continue on, guys. Let's continue on over here. Cyan also had this to say about it. People simply want fair treatment from Epic Games, fair judgment, and a rule system that Epic Games and they actually properly take seriously, and fairly make everyone go through them. I ask you this, what's the point of having these rules then, just so they can look shiny? It's true. It's true. Epic Games needs to step up, Epic Games needs to do better, and Epic Games needs to make sure that the people cheating the system don't get involved with the ecosystem. They don't get on the front page of Discovery, but that is up to Epic Games to do. It's not up to me. It's not up to you. And, like, I get we can call out wrongdoing, but what's it going to do? Epic Games needs to step up, and what I believe to be right is for Epic Games to step up. Cyan's kind of right in saying that, okay? Hollow replied to Cyan and said, yeah, people really need to stop thinking it's okay to break the rules because there are so many small creators that make amazing original maps, and we have people breaking the rules plus IP infringement getting their maps promoted because Epic's system is very flawed. Cyan replied with something that I wholeheartedly believe, hate the game, not the player. Epic should learn to make their rules actually matter. I completely agree with what Cyan had to say about that. Hate the game, not the player. There's a lot of people who are unfortunately cheating the system, but at the same time, you need to hate the game. You need to hate what Epic Games is doing. You need to hate the Epic Games moderation team. I wouldn't say hate, but you get the point. That's who you need to be going after and not the people just getting away with posting this stuff, because if Epic Games is on the ball, this stuff wouldn't be happening. I would love to know what you think about this down below. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Why don't you check out this video that I did a little while ago? If every Fortnite YouTuber were to live within the loop, where do you think they would live? What POI? What landmark? I'd love to have you guys over there. It's a very interesting topic. Take care, everybody.